We moved into a new to us house 6 months ago. There are 2 large bedrooms upstairs and 2 small bedrooms on the main floor. My husband and I take one of the upstairs bedrooms and our 2-year-old daughter is in the other. Since moving in, she's been a bad sleeper, up several times during the night, sometimes crying, sometimes talking. We put an extra bed in her room and take turns sleeping with her so at least one of us gets a decent night of sleep. The ceilings slope in the bedroom and the only window is at the end of the room, so we have a twin bed on each side of the window with a 6-foot space between the beds. Our daughter is very active, walks, talks, crawls and climbs. One night it's my turn to sleep with her. She gets into bed with me, lying alongside me. I don't know what time it is, but it's dark outside, though we get a bit of light from the neighbour's garage through the blinds that don't quite close. Usually when she talks or gets up, I ignore her. I don't want her to wake up even more. I even keep my eyes closed lest we make eye contact and it's game on as she's up for the day. But this night she gets in bed and is still. I'm sleeping on my stomach and she moves so she's laying on my back. She's a solid 2-year-old and quite heavy, so I shift a little to get her to move but not fall off me. She keeps climbing and putting her arms around my neck. She's cold, but it's a chilly night, and if she's climbing on me then she's just not been covered by a blanket. She's very persistent and this feels like it's going on forever. I'm getting frustrated that she's just not going back to sleep. She's on my back, scooching down and laying on my legs, then back up to my back with her arms around my neck. I finally crack and say, "Will you please just go to sleep?" At which point my daughter, from the other bed across the room, asks, "What's that, mummy?" The weight on my back instantly lifts, and I look over to see my daughter sitting up in bed, literally on the other side of the room, looking at me. I take her and book it into the main bedroom. The next day, we move her bed to a downstairs bedroom and take turns sleeping on the floor next to her bed. Nothing felt ominous, just somewhat playful, though I'm not eager to experience it again. I met my boyfriend when I was 16. Drugs had saturated our area. To party, we would ride down the mountain in his black Honda Civic out the several miles of gravel road to the army camp at the river to party. This particular night there was going to be a meteor shower and we wanted to see it. We crept through the darkness, down the winding mountain, across the bridge, down the access road towards the river. I'd been there 100 times. The night felt unreasonably dark, heavy almost. There were no real residences on this road that led right to the waters of the freezing new river. I was not really a believer of anything supernatural. I'm still really skeptical. We were rumbling down the road and nothing seemed out of place until we saw it. In the road ahead, a black dog. Not a wolf, but easily just as big. A Great Dane, if I've ever seen one, and I had not in real life. There were no residences, nothing around that would make you think that this expensive dog would be on this road. But there it stood in our headlights, and my boyfriend rolled to a stop as we looked at it. It was kind of postured, I don't know. It was illuminated by our headlights, hackles up in a way I've never really seen. It just stood there. He beeped his horn and started creeping closer in the car. This dog did not care, was seemingly unconcerned. The closer we got, the more unreasonably unnerved I felt. It was just staring at us, like I could feel its gaze through the windshield, until it was practically against the bumper and it was not going to move. We were at a standoff. So my boyfriend went around. He painstakingly cut his wheels, went off the gravel road to go around this unmoving hulk of a black dog. If it was in the middle of the road, we veered to the left of it so that it was on my side as we moved past. I remember how it stared at me. It was so tall that it was eye level with me in the passenger seat. I remember begging him to hurry past because there was this awful feeling that it was aware of my discomfort. We got to the river and I refused to leave the car. I had this unmistakable feeling that that thing was still out there, just beyond the trees, somewhere out in that pitch black. There was a meteor shower that night and I barely watched it through the car's sunroof because all I felt was that gaze, those horrible yellow eyes. It was still out there. I never liked going back to the river after that. I can't even describe the sense of dread, the feeling of a thing being so out of place. I never saw it again though, but I'll never forget it. I never knew something that seemed so common. It was just a dog, could make me feel such deep dread, such palpable unease. Even now, thinking of those eyes makes my throat tighten. I feel like I saw the devil that night.